Welcome back, everyone. As my voice apparently gives out on me. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. We are ready for our fifth and final match of the night. Our decider match for the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 7, Group C. We've already got Shazam finishing first in the group. We've got Perky Pepperonis finishing fourth in the group. Now we need to determine who finishes second and who finishes third, and that's what this match is all about. We've got NoT today on our dire side squared off against Dragneel on the Radiant side. The winner finishes second. Top two in the group will advance into the winner's bracket for our playoffs. The bottom two, including the third place finisher, which is the loser of this match, and Perky Pepperonis, will end up in the loser's bracket of those playoffs. So no teams are getting eliminated yet, but we will know where each of these teams are going to start their run in the playoffs. And this match is going to be very, very important. So we'll see who's going to be able to take it. Already we're seeing a little bit of a different type of game developing here in the draft. Let's talk about it. We've got Doom, Enchantress, Witch Doctor, and Invoker banned out by NoT today. Dragneel, they've banned out the Lifestealer. Lifestealer already, first banned material. Interesting. Beastmaster, Ancient Apparition, and Bounty Hunter. The picks now is we had Nature's Prophet and Lion picked up by NoT today. Slardar and Alchemist were the picks for Dragneel. And now that we're all caught up, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Niz. Welcome to the cast, where we've been casting a whole bunch of the Dota 2 Canada Cup. And we're about to finish Group C here tonight in this game. And then we've got to start all over again with a fresh group tomorrow for Group D, our final group. And that's going to feature Digital Chaos, Enemy GG, Evernovas, and DKB, or the Drinking Boys. That's going to start at 6 p.m. EDT tomorrow. So if you're interested in watching those games or interested in listening to me cast them, definitely hit that follow button and come back tomorrow. Starting at 6 p.m., we're going to run just as late as we run tonight, as our last match is scheduled to start at 11 o'clock, just like this one. We had a few delays tonight because of Valve doing some updating things, but hopefully it won't run as late tomorrow and we won't run as far behind schedule. But it should be some interesting games, to say the least. As of course Digital Chaos have got to be the big stars in that group, as they're one of the big teams, I'd say, in this tournament. Of course Complexity's got to be number one, but they didn't finish first in their group. They ended up just finishing second because they lost to Evernova in Group A action. So we'll see how their run is going to develop as we eventually get to the playoffs. But just because we see Digital Chaos in that group doesn't mean they're going to run away with it and take the group, because it's already been kind of demonstrated in Group A that Complexity, the huge favorites, not necessarily going to walk away with the group. But we'll figure all that out tomorrow. But first, we got to figure out what's going on here between NoT today and Dragneel, as we've got a few more picks have been picked up. We've got Wisp picked up by Dragneel, and then NoT today says, you know what, we'll just take the Tiny from you. So they're going to deny the Tiny by picking it up themselves. They're going to pair it up with a Lich. So now what does Dragneel take? They've already got a Slardar and an Alchemist. Do they even need something to pair up with the Wisp? I'd actually like to see them with a hero that's going to be able to do more, have a larger range presence in a team fight.
5 seconds remaining.
So we did see Alchemist get slightly nerfed in 687C. And that just made it so that his illusions don't get the benefits of Greevil's Greed. So effectively his farming has been slowed, but it's still an Alchemist, so he's still going to farm really, really fast. But he has been nerfed slightly. And we've seen him kind of in the first ban material all night. So this is the first time we're seeing him snake through the draft. And he gets picked up here. So it's interesting to see how Dragneel is going to run this Alchemist. Is it going to be in the mid lane? Maybe even paired up with a Wisp? Or are they just going to elect to put in the safe lane? My next question is Slardar. Slardar in the off lane, or are we going to see him not in the off lane and then pick up more traditional, or not a more traditional, but a different offlaner, and run that Slardar as a position 4. And I realize my timing of this point is a little bit off because the Batrider just got picked up, but The thought was
5
coming.
seconds
The thought was
remaining.
there, and it was getting there. I just had to finish the point on the Alchemist and the Wisp. But yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking. The Slara, position 4, and then you pick up something to go in the off lane, and then you've got a ridiculously scary combo. There's a lot of pick-off on this team, and not today. It's going to be difficult to run up against it because you've got an Alchemist that you've got to put pressure on. You've got to shut him down. You've got to make sure that he's not able to farm as explosively as that hero can. The problem is you're doing it up against a Slardar, a Wisp, and a Batrider. And there is still the option that you say, okay, maybe we don't run the position 4 Slardar. Maybe we safe lane the Slardar, run the Batrider still in the off lane, Wisp, and we're going to pretty much guarantee our Slardar is going to be off to a good start, whether he chooses to invest in a Midas or go straight for something like Armlet Blink or even straight for Blink. Either way, that Slardar is going to have a big presence in the mid game.
Radiant team.
You take a look at what NoT today to spanned out the Winter Wyvern. Part of that is just denying that. They're even thinking that the Slardar is going to be safe lane now. So what are the big supports left in the pool? Lion's been snatched up by NoT today. Witch Doctor's already been banned.
Remaining.
Maybe it's the Vengeful Spirit again. More lockdown.
5
I don't really like it in the safe lane, protecting the Slardar up against the Nature's Prophet though.
Reserve
That's maybe the weak thing. The weak point there. Let's talk about NoT today's lineup. So we've got Nature's Prophet in the off lane. We expect probably the Tiny in the mid lane, but we're not 100% concrete or locked in on that. As I have to steer away from concrete because I don't want it to be too similar to a rock. And you guys think that's a terrible pun about Tiny. But if you do run the Tiny in the mid lane,
Radiant
then do you put
team
the Lich there with them, and then Lion is safe lane? Safe lane with who? Not Timbersaw, because that's been banned out by Dragneel. Is that enough to stop an Alchemist as well? Tiny is quite good against Alchemists in the mid lane, I would think.
5 seconds remaining.
Tiny hits damn hard, so it's hard to last hit against him.
Reserve time.
Oh, there's the option of Alchemist. Dragneel running Alchemist safe lane and putting the Slardar Wisp in mid, if they're worried about the Tiny shutting him down. It's not easy drafting in Dota, that's for sure. It's definitely not easy. There's a lot of different routes the teams could go with here, and I'm just throwing out all kinds of ideas. Obviously, these players have a lot more experience drafting specific things
Dire team pick.
and knowing what one pick may lead into. And wow, Oracle gets picked up by Dragneel, but what's interesting is NoT today immediately pick up the Chaos Knight. They knew they wanted that hero. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game to close out the night. That's for damn sure. What a battle we're going to have here. And look at who's selecting their heroes so far for Dragneel. Well, if you miss it, I'm going to introduce the teams and our players right now, as we are in our decider match of the Dota 2 Canada Cup. I'm Niz, and let's talk about who's playing what. As we got Dragneel on our Radiant side. Clairvoyance is going to be playing the Oracle, maybe a fitting name for him. We got KYH on the Whisper, the IO, whatever you want to call him. Kataro is going to be playing the Alchemist, and look at that. He already has the Midas, Hand of Midas gloves. I love that's cosmetic, and I'm not a big fan of cosmetics, so that's going a long way. We have Bandai, or we'll just call him Mason, playing the Slardar, and we've got Snaking playing the Batrider. For our Dire side, it's going to be NoT today. They've got Jericho playing the Lich, King Tekka playing the Nature's Prophet, Benjaz on the Chaos Knight, Leo Style on the Tiny, and XD playing the Lion.
30 seconds.
Once again, a reminder, guys, winner of this will go into the upper bracket in the playoffs, and loser will drop down to the loser's bracket in the playoffs. But we do have another group to determine who's going where to start things off. So we don't know exactly how the brackets are going to shape up just yet. But obviously you want to take the game here and finish second in your group so you move up to those winners brackets. winner's bracket. There we go. There we go. Looks like there's no contest to make sure that the Alchemist doesn't get the initial rune. But Greevil's Greed already picked up by Alk. He'll pick up that bounty rune and start moving back towards the mid lane. Now we get a better idea of what our lanes are going to be, and it is going to be that Alchemist and Wisp in the mid lane going up against the Tiny and the Lich. Our top lane is going to be an off-lane Bat Rider going up against a babysitting Lion, who's going to be babysitting the Chaos Knight. Bottom lane is going to be an off-lane Nature's Prophet, who's going to be squaring off against safe lane farming Slardar with an Oracle, babysitting and trying to support him as best as he can.
'Tis a demon beast that fingers your demise.
XD thinking about throwing out the stun there, but canceling it. The Snaking just kind of harassing back. Take a quick look at the items, the starting items in this mid lane. We have a Quelling Blade picked up by the Alchemist, and he pretty much needs it to contest with the last hits with Tiny. The changes to Lich Sacrifice are certainly going to make things interesting in this mid lane, as we're going to have an XP advantage going the way of NoT today. But how significant will that be? We're even seeing the Wisp kind of rotating away from the mid lane, not just sitting there, as he's looking to set something up here in the top lane with Snaking. He's just barely sitting out of vision range there, as he still waits for an opening here. As Kataro getting forced back in the mid lane, forced to use his healing salve already. Look at these pings already coming out. They know that KYH is there. See, maybe a battle for top rune, as Jericho was starting to head up there. Then he went back towards the mid lane. Now we're going to have him and KYH battling for that rune. But the Wisp is going to have to surrender it, as Leo Style was also rotating up. So Tiny's going to pick it up. Clairvoyance is going to take the bottom one. The Alchemist gets neither rune to start things off. It's very important for NoT today to deny those bounty runes from the Alchemist, just because he's got so much gold from Greevil's Greed. And it's still the same kind of concept of putting the pressure on the Alchemist, making it so he doesn't have that explosive start to the game. We already know he's going to farm really damn fast. That's just what he does. But if you give him a good start, then it's going to be even worse. So you want to put pressure on him while he's trying to farm in the lanes, and you also want to help deny all those bounty runes from him as best as you can, so he doesn't get that extra little boost. We got 6 CS up on King Tekka so far. Looks like Mason seems to be farming pretty freely in the bottom lane. He's sitting at 13 and 6 CS, pretty much even with the Chaos Knight. Benjaz up in the top at 13 and 3, so pretty much dead even there. Our leader in terms of last hit is actually Leo Style at 16 and 6. As Kataro doing a little bit of jungling here, not really showing himself in lane, but he is showing himself to Jericho as he's starting to get low, and oh man, Jericho just sat there waiting, and Jericho had to have giggled to himself when he got that first blood, as there's a kill up in the top lane. I'm still laughing about it as well, as Benjad's getting very, very low. KYH needs one more attack, he won't find it. Oh, Kataro. It's so unfortunate because you're just sitting there watching, and it's like 20 seconds where it's just like, okay, Alchemist is just going to die. We're just waiting for it. And I think everyone knew what was going to happen. Everyone on NoT today knew what was going to happen. Certainly Jericho knew what was going to happen. Us sitting here watching at home knew what was going to happen. And Kataro was pretty much the only one in the dark there. Unfortunate, but first blood goes the way of NoT today. Clairvoyance rotates away from the bottom. What's he gonna do? What's the game plan here? Where is he going? He's gonna walk past an observer ward from NoT today, so they know he's here. Got Tranquil's completed by Snaking. As once again, XD's gonna wrap around in behind him. Ooh, he's not even gonna come out immediately. He's just gonna position himself off to the left side. Maybe he was looking for KYH. As Snaking's gone on to Benjaz, we're gonna have a TP in from King Tekka, but the damage has already been done. The Chaos Knight is already dead. And they might even get another. They're going to try to chase down XD here. He gets over top of him with the Firefly. The tether will slow him down. Okay, I thought I'd seen this one before, where KYH just barely doesn't get a kill because he needs one more attack, but this time he has enough. As King Tech is also getting chased down by Snaking. It's going to be a triple kill for the duo in the top lane, as they drop the Chaos Knight and the two support, well, the one support and the offlaner that teleported up to try and help out. So Dragneel gets their 3 kills of the match, all within a brief moment of each other. As Leo Style continues to farm in the mid lane, he's up to 1,300 gold. It's one thing that's definitely going well for NoT today. But both teams not really off to a dream start. I said they just lost all those heroes up in the top. Kataro had got first blooded there, and he's been kind of shut down a little bit, as we're seeing a turnaround here in the bottom lane as they got the Nature's Prophet low, but now it's Mason and Clairvoyance on the run, as Mason will pop that sprint. And he won't really get that low, but it is a big rotation here from NoT today, sending both their supports down here to keep King Tekka and their offlaner alive.
Tower is under attack.
$1,600 gold for Leo Style. And 1,100. Now it drops down to 800 for Snaking. He sells it again, so 1,100. So Kataro continues to farm these stacks. All while he's doing this, he's being scouted by this observer
Dire's
ward.
bottom tower is under attack.
So once again, he's being vulnerable to some kind of rotation that's going to come in and kill him. I think he's in a pretty safe spot right now, especially with Clairvoyance's positioning, and also the fact that Clairvoyance just dropped that observer ward. Ping's indicating that KYH is up here off to the side. They've got an observer ward down here. It's giving them that information. But certainly our lanes have changed quite a bit since the initial minute or two of the laning phase. We now have a Chaos Knight that's struggling to get CS up in the top lane. We've got an Alchemist who's getting completely shut down in the mid lane. So we've got a tiny free farming. And in the bottom lane, I feel like it's just going back and forth. King Tekka, one moment he's about to die. The next moment he's free farming away like he is now. And instead it's Mason who's sitting there unable to do much of anything. Once again, though, NoT today, being really strong on the runes here. As Jericho and Leo Star are going to see KYH and going to go immediately after him. Tosses the ball up in the air. As soon as he lands, he smacks him with his big rock hands. As Snake King comes on in, but they are going to lose Jericho.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Ziora just saying random things in spectator chat there. I'm not sure why, but we lose Snaking in the top lane. So now we're all evened up. 4 kills apiece as Jericho TPs towards the mid lane with Kataro once again putting pressure on the tower. But look at his gold. This is an Alchemist. This is an 8.5 minute into the game Alchemist. It is not a good start for an Alch. That is for damn sure. I wonder if we actually bring up our gold per minute here, and I know most people aren't used to seeing this, but 404 GPM. He's actually getting out-farmed by the Tiny right now. That's how much this Alchemist has been shut down, despite the fact that he's got 3 points into Greevil's Greed. Oh no. Kataro again. The blink from the Tiny, the Chain Frost, just because, I guess. But they want to make sure that that Alchemist goes down. They're not taking any chances. So he gets comboed and he dies to the combo. But either way, the Chain Frost was thrown just in case. But once again, Kataro goes down. And it's just speaking about how it's not a dream start for him. And it just got so much worse. And now Mason's going to get comboed by the Tiny. And even hit by a Frost Blast as well, as Jericho's going to get the kill there. And Dragneel are now seemingly getting run over by NoT today in this early game. And Benjaz looking to get involved in the action. He's been pretty quiet up in the top lane. Just trying not to die in the most recent moments, but Now they're going to look to push this tier 1 tower. Has created a little bit of space for snaking up in the top as he's at 2,150 gold. So very close to completing his Blink Dagger, but he's not going to be able to. He's going to TP down into this bottom lane. He's going to pop the Firefly and he's going to start running at them. He's got a TP in from the Wisp, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend here. Either way, this is a lot of gold for snaking that he's going to get. As there we go, up to 2,350. So he's got not only enough for his Blink Dagger, but a little bit more as well. Mason and Clairvoyance are here. They're smoked up. Notice Mason picked up an infused raindrop as... Oh, they're going to see XD and they're going to go after him. His stun almost hit snaking as well, but just going to hit the one target. But either way, it's enough to disengage Dragneel. As Leo style, as if comboing wasn't enough damage, he's got double damage now on the Tiny. Doesn't look like he's going to find an opening on anyone to use it on, though. His Blink Dagger now gets picked up by snaking. He'll pick up a smoke as well. To look to get a very valuable initial pick off. But look at his skill build.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Those are all 7 points spent. He's maxed Firefly, 2 points in Sticky Napalm, 1 in Flame Break. That leaves 0 for the Lasso, but he now hits level 8. As he comes and saps a little bit of XP from Mason here. And now he's got Lasso, he's got his Blink, so he'll look for a pickoff. And now he's going to smoke up with Clairvoyance. And they're going to run immediately into another smoke of Jericho, Benjaz, and XD. Snaking, blinks forward. He actually overblinks there, gets the Lasso off. Relocate's going to come in, but he just gets blown up by the finger from the line. Now Leo Style's going to toss XD into his death. I think he was going to die anyways, but still, doing some damage there. Now the Wisp is going to tether on to the Slider and bring him away. Oh, Benjaz just barely survives there. I don't know if that was the right call to bring him back, but it happened. As King Tekka now with the aggressive teleport is going to secure them another kill. Here comes Mason once again. He's going to go after Leo Style. Doesn't have mana to combo at all. As Leo Style is going to try to TP out. Do we have Bash up on Mason? We don't. Next level he'll have Bash. As Snaking and KYH get a kill there on Jericho as King Tekka trying to hide here at the bottom of the map. He's not going to be able to do so, especially with the trees getting destroyed by Snaking. So they teleport the Nature's Prophet in to get that initial kill on the Oracle. But then it results in them being a little bit too deep there. It cost them the Nature's Prophet and the Lich. Leo Style will bottle up a haste there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
As we have an armlet completed by Alk, but he's farming at a regular man's pace right now. He's not. This is not an alchemist pace. This is just a normal Dota hero pace. And that is not what you want. The whole value and the whole strength of Alchemist is his speed of farm. And look at this. Leo Style gonna actually under blink, or maybe over blink actually. He overblinked, so he didn't blink the full distance, but either way, he's able to reach just barely with the stun toss combo. But now he's going to get lassoed, and Mason's going to land a crush on him, and they are going to get the kill on the Tiny this time. Jericho getting hit with the balls from the Wisp as the stun's going to come in from the Alchemist, stunning him up, but Benjaz going to get the pull onto Bondi and stun him up as Mason's in trouble. He's going to get a crush off, but that's not going to keep him alive as Snaking and Kataro are going to look to retreat here. They're going to drop an Acid Spray to punish, and not today if they're going to choose to chase here. As XD kind of mans up here, and the Alchemist, before he throws his stun, gets stunned up by the Lion, and he stuns himself. As not today have 3 hero kills, now it's 4. And Dragneel, definitely one of the favorites, are up against the ropes by not today. My goodness, let's switch over to our net worth and see who our leader is. And I was talking about a regular man's pace. I guess it's slightly a little faster than a regular man's or a regular Dota hero's pace. As our Alchemist is still the leader. I can't look at him right now because he's dead. But he's at 6.2, just almost 6.3k net worth. But right behind is Leo Style on the Tiny at 6,200. And with the teleport being purchased there and stuff, we actually have them pretty much dead even. Then we got Benjaz in third at 4.9. fourth is going to be King Tekka at 4.4. Then we got Mason at 4.3, and eventually Snaking at 4.1. So everyone pretty even here. Slight advantage, I'd say, for NoT today. And certainly there's a big advantage at the bottom end between the Lion and the Oracle. Those are the two that really have a big spread between them. That's 1,600 gold difference. That is a lot. Mason's going to add on an armlet here. Let's take a quick look at our gold graph, and we can see that it's been kind of up and down, a little bit of a roller coaster of a ride, but it's just over 2,000 gold, about 2,500 in favor for NoT today right now. XP is also in their favor, nearing, in fact, it's just touched the 3,000 gold line, or 3,000 XP. Oh, this is dangerous. Leo Styles bottled up an Invis Rune. He's going to activate it. He's going to start rotating up towards the top, but he doesn't have enough mana to combo.
Is under attack.
So he'll have to come out of that. He'll use the Invis to get in position. Then he'll bottle and then jump. But he's going to walk over a Sentry Ward. Thankfully, it's one from his own team. He's going to find KYH. He's going to stun him and then toss him up in the air. It wasn't a full combo because he had to use a bottle tick in the middle there. Maybe if he had enough in that combo, he might have actually killed KYH. We're still very early on in this game, but NoT today. Starting to push this tier 1 tower. Actually really surprised just looking at the map that we've only lost one tower so far, and that's a bottom tier 1 from Dragneel's side.
Are fortified.
We've got an unstable concoction getting brewed here by Kataro. It's going to get tossed onto Jericho. He's up on the high ground here by the Ancients, but a huge Chain Frost going to bounce around, and Dragneel very, very lucky that that bounces to the creep wave. But Jericho's going to go down, and I didn't see what happened to Snake King. He was over here. They were kind of messing around by this camp, but he goes down. And now we're going to have a stun toss onto Clairvoyance. As KYH is also going to go down, so is the tier 1 towers. 3 heroes down on the side of Dragneel, 1 down on the side of NoT today. And they're going to back.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We almost have an armlet completed by Benjaz. It's kind of been the big item now. Everyone's picking up armlet. Everyone's realizing how strong armlet is. As we've got 3 armlets in this game, 1 on the Alk, 1 on the Slider, and soon to be 1 on the Chaos Knight. Tiny, not really a hero who's going to pick up an armlet. An Echo Saber maybe. Jericho already has his headdress and his buckler. So 600 from now, he'll have his mech, which will give his team a lot more team fight. Neither of the supports on Dragneel showing any progress towards a mech. So it could just be an advantage that NoT today is going to have.
More fuel for the fire.
Snakey's going to TP up to the top where Kataro is. So they're going to look for a kill here as they're going to relocate in as well. So they're going to bring in Mason. As they come chasing, KYH and Mason go completely separate ways, and they're not even going to find a hero. They wanted King Tekka, but he responded appropriately and got out of there. And he brings Mason back, so there's 3 heroes up here from NoT today. Bunch of pings coming out from either side. So what's going to happen is NoT today just going to keep pushing up here in the top lane. Is Dragneel recognizing that and going to stick around looking for some kind of play? You can use the Firefly to cut the creep wave. XD's just farming down here in the bottom in the Radiant jungle of all places. He's already got his Blink Dagger, so he's very, very dangerous right now. Tier 1 tower goes down in the top. Kataro now up at 1,900 gold. We got 4 staff almost complete on Snake King. about Mason? Still
Dyer's
1900 gold.
bottom
I
tower
imagine
is
Blink
under
Dagger is going to be
attack.
his next item. We spoke a little bit about this, about having the Slardar in the safe lane, securing that early item, whether it's Midas or if he's going for something like Armlet Blink. Looks like he's gone for the latter with the Armlet Blink. But certainly he didn't have the easiest time in the bottom lane. It started off well, but then all of a sudden kind of King Tekka was in dominating shape in that bottom lane, and there wasn't really too much support down in the bottom lane from Dragneel to help out that Slardar. Snaking has an opportunity here to go on King Tekka, but, well, not anymore. There's 3 more heroes here from Not Today, and there's no tier 1 tower from our Radiant side. Yeah, they were thinking about going for it, and then all of a sudden they saw some heroes, and they said, wait a second. Let's get out of here. They TP away. Snaking heads up towards the top, and the other 2 heroes actually go back to base. And that's so close to this Blink Dagger for Mason. But Not Today, with their movements, have forced Dragneel to move away from the bottom lane, and this has opened them up to pressure a tier 2. And looks like it's going to be a free tower kill for them. Tiny gonna secure it with a toss.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And now he's gonna pick up a Shadow Blade.
Dyer's top tower is under attack. Dyer's structures are fortified.
Dragneel go for this push in the top lane.
Dyer's top tower is
And
under
they've got
attack.
all 5 heroes up here, including their Alchemist. The tier 1 will go down. While this is going on, this was like a prolonged trade, really. Because Not Today got that bottom tier 2, but they didn't really come up and defend their tier 1. It was just a very slow push from Dragneel to finish that off and get the trade. But Not Today took advantage of it and just sat there and farmed. As Kataro, ooh, so close to having an interrupt there on the TP from Leo style.
And run.
Bring up our items and quickly cycle through who's got what. We've got an S and Y up on Alchemist now, as well as a Solar Crest. Mason got his Blink Dagger. Still don't have a Force Staff completed by Snaking, although he's got enough to do so. Jericho's completed his mech. And Maelstrom up on the Nature's Prophet. Beyond that, I don't think anything new has really come out that we didn't point out.
Tower is under attack.
But Not Today. Look to invade Dragneel's base. They're going to jump on over, or their jungle. So they're going to jump on over. Going to get a stun toss off onto Kataro. But here's a re-engage from Dragneel. Chain Frost's going to bounce around. It's going to wipe out the last remaining creep, and it's going to bounce around between a couple heroes as Kataro is the first one who goes down. King Tekka is going to be the retaliation kill. As now Leo Styles looking after KYH, who will just barely be able to tether himself back to his team and stay alive, and now it's Leo Styles going down. Benjaz and XT both getting quite low, as XT will get a nice stun there off onto 2 heroes. His Blink Dagger is going to be up. He will be able to blink into the trees. He should be fine to TP. But Benjaz has been caught, and he's going to go down. Jericho looks like he may follow suit as well. As Not Today lose 4 heroes in that team fight. They get the kill that they were going for on the Alchemist, but it cost them 4. Definitely not ideal. Huge gold swing for Dragneel. So we had some moments of brilliance from Not Today, just really running all over Dragneel. But obviously the last couple fights have gone a little bit more in Dragneel's favor, especially that last one. Very much in their favor. We still have Not Today actually leading 17-14 in terms of hero kills. Gold graph also going to show that they're leading, but not by as much of a lead as they were leading before. That stuff just happened in the bottom lane as I miss a kill, as Leo Style gets a kill in the mid lane. Now he's doing battle with Snaking. And Mason comes in. Kataro will once again stun himself. They get the kill on Leo Style, so it's a support for the mid laner. Not ideal for Not Today. We'll go back to our net worth, and you can see 2,500 gold lead for Not Today. XP is coming right back up to 0.
We'll take that.
We've had some really great back and forth games today. That last game that we casted, oh my goodness. Perky Pepperonis and NoT today was unbelievable. NoT today, they put up one hell of a match. And Perky Pepperonis were coming back. NoT today had a big lead. Perky Pepperonis brought themselves back in the game. And it was even looking like, for a few moments, that maybe Perky Pepperonis were going to take it. But NoT today prevailed. And now we're seeing them have another great match here against Dragneel. As Dragneel takes Roche, but NoT today is right outside. Aegis will get picked up by Mason, but here we go. Snaking's going to pick up Jericho. What the heck is going on with the camera? I don't know. But either way, we've got Jericho dead. As I can't control my camera. Help. There we go. I think. Yeah, we're okay. We've got a stun toss off onto Clairvoyance. It'll actually just toss a creep instead of Clairvoyance. Meanwhile, on the top right, we've got Kataro, who's once again got his stun channeling, and he'll stun himself because he was stunned up by Benjaz, and Benjaz got out of there, so there wasn't a stun target for him anyways. As Clairvoyance will run up towards the top lane. Mason managed to catch Leo style up there. Meanwhile, King Tekka tries to split push in the bottom lane. Another little bit of a weird positioning there with the relocate from the Wisp, but it should be enough for them to get the kill onto King Tekka. They even have an extra bash, just in case. But another fight where Dragneel comes out ahead. And on top of that, they don't even lose the Aegis. It's still going to be up on Mason. Slara will have a second life in their next fight. They're working on the tier 1 tower.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And NoT today's nearby, but are they going to go for this? Oh, Jericho. He went up for a little bit of harassment. Now he gets caught with a lasso. And it really looked like NoT today, they didn't want to defend that. So really, if they weren't defending it, they just needed to call it and back away. But Jericho goes in and steps up for a little bit of harass and just not respecting the Bat Rider and the fact that Lasso's there. And essentially just throwing away a hero kill. So we almost have a BKB completed by the Nature's Prophet, just working on the recipe. We've got a Mithril Hammer picked up by the Chaos Knight. Is that going to be a BKB or is it going to be a Desolator? I guess that will remain to be seen. Of course, it could be just some other items, but we're talking about a Chaos Knight here. As Mason's going to find XD, jumps on him, pops the BKB. I don't think he was sure that his last auto attack there was going to finish him off. So he popped it to make sure that he wasn't going to get hexed and secure the kill. But it is that was the first charge of the BKB. It was a 10-second BKB charge. It's a little unfortunate for him there, but I guess better safe than sorry. Got 1,100 gold up on the Tiny. Are we going to see him go for Echo Saber, or is he going to go for an Aghanim Scepter? I think Eggs is probably the more likely of the two. But he's hunting. He had the right idea. He went to the right place, but the hero's already TP'd away. Meanwhile, we've got Dragneel up in the in the Dire jungle. Mason starts sprinting, running out of the jungle. He's going to jump onto Benjaz. He tries to focus down the Chaos Knight. Man, he does so much damage. Double damage is a pretty good rune. As here's the relocate, bringing in Kataro. As the Alchemist will combine with the Slaughter there to get a kill. And now Mason's going to get another stun. Off onto Jericho. 3 heroes dead on the side of NoT today. They'll just send back the Wisp. And now they'll start working on the tier 2, or at least they'll come back and wipe out the creep wave, so they're not doing it against backdoor protection. But another team fight going the way of Dragneel.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And despite the fact that this Alchemist had a terrible, terrible start to this game, he is well out in front in terms of our net worth. Not as much as we sometimes see Alchemists, but still 18.6k net worth.
Dire's top tower
and he's starting to become a big body in these team fights. As XD comes up, a stun. It just seems like a silly play. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that kind of play. It's the same play that Jericho tried to make in the mid-tier 1. They're just throwing away a hero kill for nothing, and now Jericho just runs into them. I don't know what he was doing. Not today. I don't know if it's tilt or what, but Dragneel will now get a tier 3 tower. As NoT today continues to throw heroes away one at a time, but here we go. Here's an engage. Mason's going to lose his Aegis, but Leostyle might go down here. Worthwhile trade for Dragneel. It's going to force Leostyle to buy back into the game, which he will do. Benjaz goes down as well. No buyback available for him. As Snaking tries to pursue, but he'll get tossed up in the air as... Oh wow, Leostyle will get away from there as Mason's found King Tech, and good game's going to get called by NoT today as they're going to tap out of this one. 30 minutes and 30 seconds in. It's going to take a little bit longer than that for it to be official. 30 minutes and 37 seconds. Dragneel take it 29-18. And NoT today, they definitely had some moments of brilliance there, and they definitely look like they were very much in control of the game at one point. But then all of a sudden, a couple just not real ideal team fights for them ended up in NoT today, and Dragneel coming out ahead in those engagements. And then NoT today made some, I guess, some questionable mistakes going forward from there. And Dragneel just kept capitalizing on it. And they ended up taking the win. But that's not going to be it for either of these teams. What we have now is our final for Group C. We've got Shazam finishing first. Dragneel finishes second. Both of those teams will advance into the playoffs in the winner's bracket. In third place, we're going to have NoT today. And in fourth place, it'll be Perky Pepperonis. The latter two, Perky Pepperonis and NoT today, they'll start the playoffs in the loser's bracket. So they're essentially playing single elim for them for the rest of the tournament, whereas the others will be part of the double elim. But it has been a very interesting Group C, to say the least. We had some great games tonight. And that's it for tonight in terms of games. But we're going to start again tomorrow at 6 p.m. EDT. Excuse me. 6 p.m. EDT with Group D, where we're going to have Digital Chaos versus Evernovas. We're going to have Enemy GG versus Evernovas to start things off. Then we're going to have Digital Chaos versus DKB, the Drinking Boys. And then we'll follow the same format where we have a winner's match, a loser's match, and then the decider's match to close out the night. So 5 more games tomorrow night. So if you're interested in coming back for that, definitely hit that follow button on twitch.tv/NizCast, as we'll be casting those games tomorrow. Also, if you guys have any feedback, I'm always open to it. So drop that in Twitch chat or hit me up on Twitter @NizCast. And I'll try to improve that for next cast. Well, once again, guys, that's it for me. Make sure you head on over to dota2.ca/schedule to find out when all the next games are going to be if you can't make tomorrow. And also, hop in game and buy the ticket to support this tournament. The prize pool is directly increased by the ticket sales. So definitely look to support the tournament and support these teams and these players. But that's it for me. Hopefully you all have a great night. I'll see you again tomorrow at 6 p.m.